If you agree with these perspectives from Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, then you basically agree that the GOAT conversation is ridiculous altogether. The thing is, not every GOAT candidate holds the same viewpoint and approach. Years ago, LeBron
just said is a fact though, like.
So basically, I agree. The GOAT debate is in fact stupid, and it's ridiculous how emotionally involved people get over something that they can't objectively win.
That's a fact.
Now that I've established my view that the GOAT debate...
Even myself, I find myself getting tired, y'all, when y'all be commenting crazy stuff, you know.
Not doing that, because I believe that the GOAT debate is also awesome. Like I said before, people have criticized me for engaging in this debate as often as I do, and although I see where they're coming from, I also think they're missing one of the fundamental realities of the game of basketball and of sports in general. This is all about competition. The most simplistic objective of basketball is scoring more points than the other team to win the game. It's a competitive...
I see the title, man. Let's get to it.
It's the most regurgitated conversation in all of basketball. Mainstream media refuses to put the topic aside because it's always a sure bet to get general audiences' attention. And if you go on social media, it seems almost every take and every basketball highlight somehow gets shoehorned into the Jordan versus LeBron topic. As fanboys...
Yo, bro, for real. Even the shit that got nothing to do with it. Like... literally nothing to do with LeBron and Jordan.
On both sides can't stop fighting in their honor. Now, to be clear, I've made numerous videos on this topic expressing my opinions, and over time, some of those stances have softened a bit. But although I've given my thoughts on who should be first, second, and third, I've never expressed my opinion on the actual overarching topic itself. Is the GOAT discussion smart or stupid? Is it good for the game of basketball or is it bad? Although most people are willing to engage in the conversation, there are those who try to attack my intelligence for even engaging in the topic in the first place.
For real. And I ain't gonna lie. I don't understand how you have a problem with people talking about LeBron in the GOAT debate when he's one of the only all-time greats that are still playing, bro. He's still playing. That's the biggest thing, and that's the biggest reason why he's still talked about so much. He's still playing, bro. You can't take that away from him. Like, it's just, like, I understand, but then again, I don't. Because, like, I understand Jordan is the GOAT, but I don't understand that we can't talk about a GOAT debate when other players are still accumulating other statistics and accolades and things of that nature. Like, it doesn't even make sense. He's literally still going. It's not over yet. So why we can't talk about it? You know what I'm saying? Don't make sense, bro.
Now those people could certainly lighten up a bit, but I honestly can't even say that I fully disagree with them. One of the most ironic things to me is how Michael Jordan fans will fight so hard to convince people of MJ's case as the greatest player of all time when Michael Jordan doesn't even do that himself. At this point, I'm sure many of you have seen this clip, but this is from April 16th.
That's what they're supposed to do, though. I ain't gonna lie. They supposed to do that. If they real fans, you know what I'm saying? Real fans are gonna fight for you. Real supporters.
1996.
Whether it's family, whether it's strangers, whatever.
The Bulls had just won their 70th game in their historic record-breaking season, and in the post-game press conference, when asked if this accomplishment pushed him ahead of all the other greats, MJ had this to say.
No. I think that's something that I really can't say can be established. Each one of us playing at different eras, with different teams, with different levels of success. And to compare all of them and say one's better than the next, it's an unfair justice to the art, or to the artists. You know, being that Magic Johnson, Will Chamberlain, all the guys before me were the artists of this game of basketball.
And that's how you should go about it. And I understand why you guys would be upset with Bron for saying the things that he says and then doing the things that he does, you know, the decisions that he makes, things like that. Yeah, bro. It's very humble. You got to be humble, bro. You know
and we've all learned from them, and we've improved the picture to a certain extent. And to say that one improvement is better than all of it, it's an unfair assessment.
Even 21 years after that original statement was made, MJ still maintained a similar viewpoint. In 2017, in an interview with the Cigar Aficionado, Jordan was asked about his opinion on the Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus GOAT discussion for the sport of golf. And MJ not only gives his opinion, but he thoroughly explains his thought process for his own sport. Take a listen.
I beg to differ, and I'll give a different analogy to that, because first of all, you're never going to say who's the greatest of all time. To me, I think that's more for PR and more for selling stories and getting hype. Jack and Tiger never played against each other. They never played in the same tournament. They never played with the same equipment. They never played with the same, length of golf course. I never played against Will Chamberlain. I never played against, Jerry West. To now say that, one's greater than the other is being a little bit, unfair. I think when you can see the similarities and you understand, this is one way you can judge the two. How much impact did each change or evolve the game? Jack during his time when he played, but Tiger during his time. Now, obviously Jack won more during the time he played. Tiger evolved it to where it was, it crossed a lot of different boundaries, where it's not just a white guy's sport, the black guys, Afro-American, all the minorities play the game. And you play at a level to where it generated so much interest financially that it grew the game from a financial standpoint. Now, does that constitute him being the greatest, or does that mean he's any less than Jack? I think is unfair. Yeah, Jack probably has 18 majors and Tiger's got 14. And I think those are when, that's how people are judging certain things. I won 6 championships. Bill Russell won 11. Does that make Bill Russell better than me and make me better than him? No, because we play at different eras. So when you try to equate who's the greatest of all time, it's an unfair parallel. It's an unfair choice. And I think, those are the demons that, obviously Tiger had to live with, and he's going to be challenged and he's going to be graded upon that. But for me, I think they're both great. I would never say one is greater than the other. That's me. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Again, this take is ironic because nobody fights harder for their GOAT candidate than Jordan fans do. But make no mistake, Jordan isn't the only player who doesn't entertain the discussion. In an interview in March of 2019, Kobe explained his thoughts on people comparing greats to one another, and this is what he had to say.
My fault, I ain't get to say nothing about that last clip though. Mike was just talking though. He was just talking this real, you said, some real humble talk.
It's hard for people to believe, but I really don't care. Like, I moved on. So like, you have a career. You do the best you can with the 20 years I was very fortunate to play, and then you shelf it. You're done. You move on to the next thing. So now I'm focused on these next 20 years. And so those debates are entertaining, I'm sure. And, it's fun for people to engage in those. But for me personally, it doesn't matter.
So when everyone gets into is LeBron better than Kobe, whatever it is, and you hear it, you can't not hear it. You have no reaction.
Sure. No, I think the best way to explain it is I typically do not engage in things that I cannot definitively win. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's argument. Argue for what?
If you agree with these perspectives from Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, then you basically agree that the GOAT conversation is ridiculous altogether. The thing is, not every GOAT candidate holds the same viewpoint and approach. Years ago, LeBron
just said is a fact though. Like, that's the GOAT debate is something that you can't really everybody's never gonna be on the same. Everybody's not gonna be on the same page. It's just not gonna happen, bro. So if that's what everybody want, it's not gonna happen, bro. Or
famously got the basketball world in a frenzy when he made this statement about himself.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For so many reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. I was ecstatic. Obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was y'all. Everyone saw me crying. That was all for 52 years of everything in sports was going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time. Everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. They was the greatest team ever assembled. And for us to come back, the way we came back in that fashion, I was like.
Now here's the thing. When LeBron made this statement, it initially seemed to do him more harm than good, as seemingly everyone began to take aim at him for his confident viewpoint. Generally, people don't like it when someone sings their own praises, and unless you have the right charisma and character to make it work, like Muhammad Ali for example, then people generally are not going to agree with you, and are usually going to try to remove you from the pedestal that you placed yourself on. Now on the other hand, this was the comment that really sparked the debate, and LeBron used the narrative that has become one of his strongest arguments for the title of greatest player of all time. So maybe this was actually a brilliant move by LeBron, as he challenged people to think outside of the box of Jordan being the greatest ever. But it's just like MJ said, everything here is subjective. They're different players on different teams in different positions from different eras. There's basically no way to objectively compare these legends side by side to one another, because there's just too many variables that are literally impossible to accurately quantify. So basically, I agree. The GOAT debate is in fact stupid, and it's ridiculous how emotionally involved people get over something that they can't objectively win.
That's a fact.
Now that I've established my view
even
that
myself,
the GOAT debate...
Even myself, I find myself getting tired, y'all, when y'all be commenting crazy stuff, you know. I gotta chill out too. It's not even that deep. Usually I don't even get tight, but recently I've been getting a little upset, man, by the foolery I've been hearing. But it's really just passion, man. It's really just passion. For the sport we love, you know. That's all it is.
It is in fact ridiculous and doesn't deserve much credibility whatsoever. I could just end the video here and now, but I'm not doing that because I believe that the GOAT debate is also awesome. Like I said before, people have criticized me for engaging in this debate as often as I do, and although I see where they're coming from, I also think they're missing one of the fundamental realities of the game of basketball and of sports in general. This is all about competition. The most simplistic objective of basketball is scoring more points than the other team to win the game. It's a competitive form of measurement, so of course, players and fans are naturally going to make those competitive measurements on an individual level. It's simply an extension of that competitive nature. As much as Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant want to act like they're above these comparisons, to a certain extent, these are debates they've also engaged in at one point or another. In 1997,
I know for a fact they probably be talking about it with the bros, you know what I'm saying? Or RIP Kobe, but you know they probably was talking about it, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
A ceremony of the 50 greatest players of all time, multiple witnesses have claimed that they saw Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain having an extensive debate on which one of them was better. In 2012, at the Drew League, Kobe engaged with a fan, claiming that he was above Michael Jordan on the all-time list. And another legend, Bill Russell, has never been shy about making his case above Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. Just because these guys don't say it in front of a mic at a press conference doesn't mean they don't think it, they don't believe it, and it doesn't mean they don't argue it privately. You can make the point that this discussion is pointless, and there can ultimately be no victor. But let's be real, we're competitive guys, and we're still gonna try. In my mind, basketball lore isn't all that different from superhero lore. In reality, you'll never see Superman fight Goku, yet we'll try to argue who would win. In a similar fashion, you'll never see Michael Jordan go up against LeBron James, but we'll still try to argue who would win. Face it, without these conversations, the game and the community is just a lot less enjoyable in general. But I will say this, if I have one bit of advice for the GOAT discussion, it would be to just remember, like Kobe said, there cannot possibly be an objective winner. So don't foolishly attach your emotional state to it. It's truly not worth that much of your energy. And
yo, for real, you could lose your patience, lose your cool over nothing, really. For real, man. Trust me, I've been through it. If y'all enjoyed, I know what to do. I gotta eat this food, man. I'm starving. Click on the last reaction, share the video with your peoples, turn on post notifications. I'm out here, man.